Stood in front of me here are three of the best examples of remote electric trolleys that you can get on the market right now. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the features and benefits of each to help you work out which is right for your game. Now, stick around to the end because I've got a really cool, really unique remote electric trolley that I want to tell you all about. Right, let's get started. So let's get stuck in. Here they are. From your left to right, we've got the Motorcaddy M7 GPS. In the middle of me here is the Powercaddy RX1 GPS, and on your right is the Stuart Vertex remote. These are three of the best examples, I think, of remote electric trolleys that are on the market right now, and it's an ever-growing category and an ever-popular category as well. You've probably seen a few more of these dotted around on golf courses recently. Should we chat about the basics? Let's get the features out of the way so you can work out how these stack up against each other. We'll start with price. The Motorcaddy, $1499, that's in pounds. The Powercaddy, $1449.99, very similar prices there. And the Stuart starts at $1249. You can spec that up a little bit with a different finish and a bigger battery as well if you want. So those are your prices to get us started. Weight, again, very similar. Motorcaddy 14.4 kg, Powercaddy 14 kg, and the Stuart 14.1 kg. That's without the battery. Add the battery and they're all about the same weight, is another 2 kilograms. So very similar weight. You're gonna have to kind of accept that with these products, they are a little bit heavier than other trolleys. There's 2 motors in there, but they're all roughly the same. Let's talk diameter now when they're all folded up, because this is an important bit to talk about when you're storing it, I guess. So the Motorcaddy 650, this is in millimeters by 470 by 420, so fairly cubey. The Powercaddy 805 millimeters, and we'll come on to that later, it's a little bit longer, by 425 by 345, and the Stuart, very compact as well, 540 by 600 by 320. So the Motorcaddy and the Stuart a little bit more compact. We're going to come on to that in more detail later. The Motorcaddy and the Powercaddy you can use in manual mode as a standard trolley, as you'd get on these dials here. The Stuart is remote only, something to bear in mind. Inverted wheels, you can invert the wheels on the Powercaddy and the Motorcaddy for storage. Again, we'll come on to that a little bit later. And it's worth saying as well that there is a non-GPS model available in the Powercaddy. Right. Everyone on the same page? Those are all your features, those are your basics, them stacking up next to each other. Now, I think we need to chat about how these things fold up, because it's a really important part of how you interact with the trolley. So let's fold them up. Okay, here they are then, all folded up. And as you can see, all three of them pretty compact considering their size. So don't worry too much if you are struggling for space. One thing that's going to stand out straight away is the length of the Powercaddy. You can see how much that adds when the front wheel doesn't fold under like this one, so something to bear in mind. What it does have though alongside the Motorcaddy is those inverted wheels, and you can see that does save quite a lot of space actually when you're storing it, so I do like that. The Stuart doesn't have it, so it is a little bit wider when folded up, but a lot lower, as you can see. Now, talk about the Stuart, and thank you Stuart, a grab handle. Look at that, nice and easy. I know which bit I'm trying to grab and it's not going to come off on me. Now, the Motorcaddy and the Powercaddy don't really have that. The Powercaddy's got this bit here, which you can hold it from, but it's a moving part, and I'm not sure, is that a handle? Am I supposed to be using it like that? A little bit disconcerting. And then the Powercaddy, I'm not really sure, to be honest. That moves, you can hold it from the wheel. I end up sometimes holding it like a child or something. It's a little bit weird, and you will get a bit muddy and dirty with it. So a little design fault for me there, that there isn't a handle integrated into these two, and something to bear in mind, and something hopefully I think will get put onto them in the future. So that's how they look. I'm going to show some footage of me now actually unfolding and folding these back up. We'll start with the Motorcaddy. Now, my biggest qualm with this is the anti-tip rear wheel, which you have to have. Otherwise the remote functionality won't work. It'll tip over and go over itself. Is totally separate from it. On the Powercaddy and the Stuart, they're integrated into the folding system. On this, you've got to take it out and put it in manually. And not only does it add time to actually putting it all together, but at some point, knowing me, I'm going to forget that, and it's frustrating that it isn't, you know, integrated into the system. I think that's a bit of a design flaw, especially compared to these two where it's integrated. However, as you can see when I'm folding it, pretty straightforward, one-step process, and whether you do or don't invert the wheels will add a little bit of time, but it's really easy and worth it, I think, to save the space. Same with the power caddy, really simple, one-step system. You see it all folds into the chassis, and the only thing you're doing to add a bit of time on that is inverting the wheels if you want to do that. Now, for me, the Stuart, I'm familiar with it. It was the same on the Q Follow. They've used this system for a while. It is a two-step system. These wheels fold as a separate motion to the rest of it, but they do fold under. As you can see, really quick and easy when I was doing it. And I think it's my favorite of the two because A, it's compact, the anti-tip wheel is integrated, and then I've got that handle, which I clearly love very, very much. Okay, so let's now chat about the actual remote functionality of these trolleys, because it's, you know, the main reason you'll be getting one. It's become really popular over the last couple of years, and it really does give you that sort of hands-free experience on the golf course. Now, remote-wise, the Motor Caddy is awesome. Look how compact that is. Definitely my favourite out of the three. The Stuart and the Power Caddies are fine, but they're just a little bit bigger, and I think that's a really nice design for Motor Caddy, which fits there. As I mentioned earlier, the Motor Caddy and the Power Caddy, you can do in manual mode. So as soon as you press the dial on here, like a conventional electric trolley, it will go back into manual mode. So something to bear in mind. The Stuart doesn't have that, but for me, you become so attuned to the actual remote use of it, you don't really need it anyway. But I just thought I'd mention that because they're there. Quickly on the batteries, the Motor Caddy's still got a wire on it, which you don't see very often on electric trolleys anymore. It's fine. I'm just thinking I'd rather the wireless, but it is there, it works, it's fine. And the Power Caddy's battery is spectacular, super, super thin, and it's got that isolator switch on top of it as well, same as the Stuart, so you can turn it on and off while it's in the chassis. Now, the actual remote functionality, all three are actually really fun to use. I think that's a reason you should be getting something like this, is they're a lot of fun as a top line. Obviously they're a little bit easier to use as well. You can send it off and get to go after your ball or behind you or whatever, however you use it. So all really fun, all super responsive. Couple of key things I want to point out though is that the Stuart's sort of microchip it's got in it called active terrain control is super, super impressive. What that means is if you're ever going up a steep hill or down a steep hill, the trolley won't lose speed or gain speed. It will stay at the same speed you've had it set for the whole time. So that means you're pressing the buttons a little bit less, which is I think the sort of goal of these things, is try and take your hands away from the experience as much as possible. So I was super impressed with that on the Stuart. Stuart have been the sort of the pioneers and the sort of authority in this technology for a while, and they've upped their game again with the Vertex, I think. However, all of them have got their sort of own version of a downhill control technology, so they don't speed up or slow down too much, which is great. The Motor Caddy and the Power Caddy, I really can't pick between too much. They're super, super similar. So yeah, I'd say for actual remote usage, the Stuart stands out for me. Right then, the elephant in the room then, I think you might have noticed, is the handles on the Power Caddy and the Motor Caddy have GPS. Obviously the Stuart is GPS free. So let's talk about these two GPSs. I will have to consult my notebook on this one to make sure we get it right. Now, if you don't have a GPS already and you're looking to get a sort of all-in-one product, this is where these two come into their own. So let's chat about what they both have as standard. So that's front, middle and back distances to the green, hazard information, 40,000 pre-downloaded courses, drag and drop pin positioning, a round timer, scorecard, shot distance measurement, and it's all controlled on the same, well not the same, but the same size, 3.5 inches, full color touchscreen on both of them. Now, I've got to say for both touchscreens, super high quality, sort of smartphone quality. Sometimes you can get, you know, sort of naff touchscreens in places, but they've not skimped on that, and the sort of premium feel really comes through on this, and they're really responsive and work with the glove as well, so that's fun. Now, I said that's what you get as standard because the Motor Caddy does have a little ace up its sleeve, and that is the Motor Caddy Performance Plan. Now, with the M7 GPS, you get that 12 months for free as a little trial, and what that gives you, and it is pretty impressive, is most importantly full hole mapping. So instead of just seeing the green on there, the dynamic green, which is the same on both, so the actual shape of the green, you get that plus the full hole map and all the hazards on it as well. And that is huge, to be fair. It really makes it stand out over the Power Caddy. You get, as I said, more detail on those greens as well, so the hazards will start to appear, the bunkers and the exact shape of the bunkers. You also get scoring and stats, fairways and greens hit. You get automatic course updates and firmware updates because it's got cellular connectivity. There's a little SIM card in here. So even if you're not on Wi-Fi, or anything like that. It can do its updates automatically wherever you are. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, with the Motor Caddy Performance Plan, the only thing I think you'd be buying it for is that full hole mapping. And it's worth noting, after that free trial, you don't have to take it up, but it is $49.99 a year. That's in pounds, $69.99 in dollars. And I know that is frustrating to have another subscription system put on top of the ones you've probably already got, like Netflix and whatever else you have subscriptions for. But I do think it's really worth it. As I said, that full hole mapping changes the game entirely. Right then, concluding thoughts. I've been using these all since about March, on and off, and I've got to say they're all a lot of fun. That is my top line on remote trolleys. They are fun and convenient as well, obviously, of course. I'm not going to pick an out-and-out winner here, because I think each of these 3 trolleys serves an individual purpose for an individual type of golfer. So if you're after the best remote trolley with the best GPS in it, absolutely go for the Motor Caddy. Brilliantly compactly folding system, and that GPS with that performance plan on it is the best you can get in trolleys. And I know there's another subscription price. Say what you want in the comments about that, but I think it's fine and I like it, and it's a good investment. If you want the best out-and-out remote trolley, the best experience of using the remote, stability, control, speed control, you've kind of probably heard it already in this video, it is the Stewart. So if you're not worried about GPS and you want just the best remote experience possible, the Vertex remote absolutely stood out for me. And then as for the Power Caddy, I think we can all agree it is absolutely the best looking. And if you want the most simple folding system, space isn't a problem, and you like how easy that went down and how easy those wheels inverted, there's the Power Caddy. So I think each one does absolutely serve a purpose for a different type of golfer. So those are my concluding thoughts on those 3. Now, I did say at the top of the video, I've got a wild card option I want to introduce you to. And I'm just going to wheel it into shot now. Here it comes. There it is. It is the Wildcard Club Booster V2. And now what this does, it isn't the whole trolley you see here, it's just the back 2 wheels and this device. And it turns push carts into full remote electric carts. Now there's a list of compatible carts on their website, but it includes Click Gear, Rovic, I think the Bag Boy, one of the Big Max trolleys as well. And what it does is take the 2 wheels off the back of your push cart, and you attach this via some clamps, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a remote electric cart that's a push cart. Now, it's a really unique device, and it is worth mentioning about half the price of these. You can get this for about £800 in the UK. I think it's $800 in the US as well. And it's a heck of a lot lighter than these as well, because all you're using then is your push cart and these back 2 wheels. Now, it's a little bit quirky in places, and the design's a little bit funky. The back wheels are a little bit strange, and it can be a bit complex in my opinion. It took me a while to put it all together, but I think at half the price of these guys here, much more lightweight and really quite a lot of fun, really stable, really quick, as you can see me playing with it now. I think it's a really unique option if these are just way out of your price range, but you still want the benefits of what a remote electric cart can bring you, which is that fun, which is that convenience, and ultimately something to carry your clubs around the golf course. So this is a really cool option that I think you should really be checking out, as well as these 3. So I think that's about it. I think I've covered all these pretty well. Like I said, if you've got any questions for me, get down in those comments. I will try and answer them. If there's another remote cart you think I should have mentioned, and there are a few, these in my opinion are the best, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about that. But for now, from the London Club, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you next time.